Can't seem to put the video or sound on. Why is Sean on here? There's the video. Okay. Can you hear us, Paula?
I can.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's get started. We will call Public Works to order at 5:36. We have a quorum. Agenda was properly posted, and we'll move to public appearances. I don't see anyone in the room. Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to make a public statement? I just heard the door ding. I just want to wait 1 second to make sure that's not someone coming in to talk. Okay. All right. Then we will move on to number 4, discuss and consider the minutes from the Public Works, Properties, and Sustainability Committee meeting of January 14th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to unfinished business. 5A, 2026 Street and PED Improvement Project Update.
So included in your packet, not much has changed on, actually nothing has changed on the drawings. Strand has just finalized them over the last month. That will go out for bid next Wednesday, and they will be, the bids will be opened the week before this committee meeting for your guys' recommendation for approval by village board at the March Public Works Committee meeting. As we discussed, the multi-use path project on BB will have full curb replacement as we had discussed on the last one to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for the future. So included in the packet is just the OPCC, just kind of as an update on where we're at. As we discussed, Cottage Court and Johnson Health Tech will also be bid alternatives just to make sure that we are funding the multi-use path and the street pulverization project accordingly. And then as discussed, the well 3 driveway is included in this plan just to get a cost for the utility side as it'll be a better lumped in asphalt cost with a project that already has asphalt instead of us hiring a third party out. We're looking pretty good as of right now. Obviously, I am always hoping that estimates come in under, but we'll see where everything lays out. Planned to start given the multi-use path project is adjacent to both schools, work will not be able to start on that project until after school is out, and it is being required to be finished before school starts again in September. So.
Can you remind me of the roads that are part of that, other than the alt for Cottage Court? I know it's Nightingale. Is it going to be
Nightingale and then Clearbrook.
Clearbrook? I know Clearbrook and that cul-de-sac. And just those three?
Just
and
those
then possibly
three, and then
Cottage
possibly Cottage
Okay.
Court, yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I had emailed Kyle these, but can I just talk about them some more?
Absolutely.
So, the first one with Cottage Court, you mentioned that you were buying a asphalt hot box and a roller,
Correct.
right? So we could do some small maintenance.
Small patching, yep.
Is Cottage Court an opportunity to extend the life of that with those equipments?
I wouldn't recommend doing that entire court. When we have this small roller and this small asphalt box, it's really only intended for a 10 by 10, 20 by 20 patch. In that case, we would be patching all the way down Cottage Court, and you would have more seams than you want, which can create more water infiltration, pavement deterioration.
Okay, I mean, because I just, knowing not a structural engineer.
Yep.
But I ran through it. There's no current potholes. There's extensive cracking. There's no danger to vehicles. I get it that it's deteriorating 100%, but the question is, I know it's an alternative, so
Yep.
fair, right? But like, what is the dire need, and could we extend it 2, 3, 4 years or not, right? Like, if all the cracking's on the edge, not where the cars are even driving.
So, like I mentioned, it is a Pacer rating 4, which is what all of our streets are currently at, and we don't want them to continue deteriorating.
All the ones in this project.
All the ones in this project, correct. And that are planned for the next pulverization project as well.
Is that a third-party rating, or do we do that?
We do that. I do that.
Okay.
I've done it. I did it last year. I did it this year with my street superintendent, and those results, I think I gave in December to this committee on all of the results for that. And it's based off a very guideline from WISDOT on what those look like. I will be honest with you, I can't pull that. I would have to sit here and pull it up real quick on what that looks like. But pothole itself is not necessarily the reason for it deteriorating. The way the cracking is, when it's blocked cracking, that's also.
I mean, it's a high risk of creating large potholes in the future and stuff like that, right? I get it. Just thinking about, I don't know the current state of everything that's happening in the village, but we're trying to do a lot of things and some big builds, and so just trying to say,
Nope.
can we extend something,
Absolutely.
right? I think it's just something to consider. Johnson Health Path, by the way, as well, like, there's like 5% of that has some bad parts where all
Yep.
the geese hang out, essentially. Like, we patch that? Like,
That is something that I would look to see if we can.
and there's no
depending on
there's
the
no trip
cost.
hazards.
Depending on
like-
the cost comes in, there's a lot of what looks to be like root problems from bushes or trees. And so
Yeah.
there's a little more aspect to that than what my staff may be able to just do internally.
Well, I mean, great, putting a Band-Aid on top, right, is not
No,
maybe great or ideal, I guess. But I mean, it's a lot of money for a path that's honestly not used very much and is 95% okay.
nope, I totally
All
understand
right,
that.
yeah. So sorry, those are my thoughts. And then the multi-use path, just because I know we put the utilities on, when we just did last year's path, we buried the utilities, right? And there's some overhead utilities where that new path is going, right?
Yes, so
And we can't do anything about that.
We cannot. No, we did not pay for Alliant to go underground. They were always planning to go underground along BB in that portion of the corridor. And they just moved their project to correlate when our project was happening. It was for redundancy, so that's why they moved underground and that's why it started. And they were in conflict with our path.
Okay, so we didn't reach out to them. They just said, this is a good opportunity.
They were already planning to
I mean-
do that project at a point.
Have we reached out to them and let them know we're doing some more?
Yes, I've been in contact with them because of the Heyday project as well.
It just seems like a great opportunity, and you hate to miss it. And
Yep, they're fully aware of the project. However, unless we want to pay Alliant to force them to go underground, then I don't really have a say in it.
the prices.
It was big enough when Heyday was looking, when we did the developers agreement with Heyday, that the village board didn't want to move forward with it at the time.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Do you know, like, when Parkview or Starlight are scheduled to get updated? Because I mean, it's obviously not this year, and I don't think it's in 2 years, because I think that's like Dentaria that's supposed to be in 2028.
Starlight, and what was the other one?
Starlight and Parkview, North Parkview.
I can look at both of those, and I can let this committee know where those are scheduled at this time.
Okay, because I'm just curious, because I assume it would make sense to do it when those are due, but if those aren't going to come for another, if they're not in the current 5-year plan or whatever.
Yep.
I don't know.
I will let you guys know. I'll send an email out to this group after.
Sorry to belabor the point. What is your plan with the hot box and the roller? Like, what kind of fixes are you planning to do with it?
So some of the small pothole locations that we have, we also have locations where we're working on where our manholes are high, just from settling, and when we can cut a patch for that and fix the manhole and level it out, our plows don't hit it, and this way our plows last longer as well. So a lot of small maintenance items throughout the village.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Wait, and then we can move to 6, discuss WDNR UNPS grant for the 2027 street sweeper for staff direction.
Strand is completing our stormwater study for us, and they brought up this grant opportunity. It's the Unit Point Source Pollution Grant. When I wrote this, when we did this agenda last week, as of then, the application was not on the DNR's website. The application was just posted today for the grant application. It is due on April 15th. It is up to 25% of the cost of a high-efficiency street sweeper, which is something that we are looking into for 2027. As of last year in the approved 2026 budget, a new street sweeper is intended to be purchased in 2027. Obviously, that hasn't been finalized at this point in time because we haven't done the 2027 budget, but that's what's currently planned. Couple things with the grant application. I have never done that grant application before. It is due on April 15th. I can figure it out. However, we have to have our street sweeper, the exact company, the exact model, everything picked out by the time we submit that submit that grant application. So that's us looking for a street sweeper in the next 2 months to then write the grant application. And a lot of vendors don't do street sweeper demos in the middle of the winter because it's not an ideal time. So there's that aspect of this grant application. And to be quite frank, I don't have the capability to write this grant application. I talked to Strand, and it's one of the more complicated grant applications that they do. They do have the possibility that they could do it for us. It would be about $10,000. So what we're looking at is Strand to complete a grant application for $10,000 for the possibility for us to get up to 25% cost of a street sweeper, and that possible cost would be about $80,000. That also would mean that staff has to figure out which street sweeper we are going to buy in the next 2 months, maybe without demoing a street sweeper. And to put it in perspective, we bought a street sweeper in 2020, and we've put $18,000 into the street sweeper that we currently have in the last 2 years.
Do they make street sweeper / leaf vac trucks?
No. I should have expected that question, though.
Any questions or comments?
Is it a possibility that this could be a 2028 item?
They do it every 2 years.
Every 2 years, of course, right?
Correct. So
Okay.
that's the unfortunate part right now as well.
Well, and maybe it's something to keep on the list for when we are considering the cost of that replacement and when we decide on it. And if it's a lot more than we were anticipating or something like that, we may choose to defer it to 2029.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I guess that would be my comment was let's not let this go away. Let's keep it on the list with the street sweeper for 2027 so we can weigh that as part of the discussion when that comes around.
Mike, you're saying defer it, right? Not apply this year.
Correct.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I guess I would too. Paula, do you have anything to add? Okay. Anything else from anybody? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry,
Paula.
I couldn't unmute myself. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. I just checked an update. Starlight Lane and North Parkview are slated for 2030. So I guess the question is, can Cottage Court make it to 2030? And then we can move on to 6B, discuss updating the village's right-of-way permit for staff direction.
As I mentioned in my director's report last month, this is something that I would like to look at updating. It's a pretty out-of-date right-of-way permit if you've ever pulled it on the village's website. A lot of out-of-date language. Quite frankly, we don't even list who the right-of-way permit should be sent to, so sometimes it gets sent to Lisa, sometimes it gets sent to me. I would like to update it in general just to make it a more user-friendly, as well as pull it up onto our online format as well. With that aspect, one thing that we do not do as a village for our right-of-way permit, which includes any third-party vendors, so Frontier, TDS, Charter, Alliant, or any developers, if there should be a reason for it. We do not charge a fee associated with our right-of-way permit. Looking at other communities, City of Verona, City of Wanakee, Stoughton, I believe Monona as well, I didn't print out Monona's, they all charge some sort of fee for their right-of-way permit to cover not only staff time, but it allows us to kind of have a little more skin in the game when it comes to people don't restore. I mean, that's the biggest thing that we don't see is right now we don't have a very good way of tracking the right-of-way permit. And I indicate that the vendor is supposed to let me know when they start work and when they finish work, and no one lets me know any of the things. So trying to work on actually understanding when people are in the village for that aspect, and kind of putting a fee associated with it so they know that they are being held accountable. Or should they leave and I can't get them to restore, then we're kind of recouping some of that money.
So that could help cover some, because like some of the places they've like torn up and repatched the multi-use paths are not great. So that
Yep.
could help recoup some of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I completely agree. And I'd even be interested to see, not that I want to have a crap ton of paperwork, but, you know, perhaps even a deposit that goes with it so that, you know, it's a reasonable fee for the permit, but if they don't comply with the rules and regulations of the permit, we have even more money to go and take care of that restoration work.
Yeah, kind of like a surety type aspect. Yep.
Or even the permit fee is $75 with a $400 deposit, and if you do it correctly, we return or don't cash that portion of the check, and if they don't do it, then we keep it.
Okay.
I like that. Any other comments?
I will look into fees and kind of give my thoughts and where we kind of, some of the surrounding communities as I work through this, but wanted to make sure this committee was good with the thought of including a fee moving forward before I went through all that work.
Sounds good. All right, and then we can move on to 7, Directors and Engineers Report.
Rain barrels are going to be for sale again. You'll be able to find that link to purchase them on the village's website. We will be able to pick them up here in April to right before Earth Day. An update for the Safe Streets for All grant. I have finally heard back from the Madison MPO. The attorney's office is currently working through that, so I should actually have a signed agreement. Hopefully in the upcoming months that we'll be able to kick off that project that was supposed to happen in 2024. The Municipal Services Fire Alarm Monitoring System, we have previously used Convergent Technologies to do our fire alarm system that's required with any larger municipal building. We were getting charged an annual fee, and then it seemed the last 2 Novembers an alarm would go off, and then they would come and I would have to pay, we would be paying like $2,000 for them to fix something. They came in November and ultimately didn't do the work. They didn't have the right parts. I was getting frustrated with our fire alarm monitoring system, so I looked elsewhere, and Dave Jones can do it for cheaper, so they have installed, and we have moved forward with Dave Jones on that facility. I'm also planning on having Dave Jones coordinate with the police station. This way we're all on one monitoring system with one vendor. As of the middle of January, one of our public works technicians is no longer employed with the village. We did a job opening and conducted interviews last week, and we are hoping to have the position filled by the end of February, first week of March. I'm still working through the traffic management stop sign policy, kind of as we discussed from last month. The big thing that did come through last week is Frontier Communications submitted a 7 permit, right-of-way permit for the entire village. I'm meeting with Frontier Communications next week to understand their construction schedule, as they are looking for a village-wide infrastructure update. So more to come on what that looks like, the staging, and how I plan to communicate that to the village, as they will be working both in village right-of-way as well as easements. So a lot to come on that.
When TDS installed it right, there was
I've heard stories. So
Yes.
I'm also have called JJ to get some lessons learned on that as well. So we have been informed through counterparts that the Village of Oregon just went through Frontier, as well as the city of Janesville is currently going through it as well. So we'll be reaching out to counterparts to see how we can best approach this. The other thing to note about that is we are potentially looking into subbing out our utility locates for Frontier project specifically and recouping that cost through a reimbursement agreement, just because of the fact that our utility staff has the 3,000 locates that we do on a daily basis, on a summer basis, as well as all the other projects that we're doing internally. On the engineering side, not a whole lot to update on West Lawn and Corey Ridge. The Amazon facility, I just met with Dane County today to talk about a few things and was informed that they have not yet reviewed the plans that have been on their desk from the Amazon's developer. So I hope that they will have comments back to the Amazon development team and that I'll be able to update this committee on where they stand here in March on what that traffic looks like. Heyday, there's been no update on Public Works side. And then the 2025 streets and PEDs, if you haven't seen it, the RFB is installed. We're happy, it's working, all great things. And then the 2026 streets project, as we talked, will be bid here next week, and we will be looking at awarding that contract in March.
Advertise next week or bid next week?
Advertise next week.
Any questions or comments on that? If you want an update from me, it's almost 3 years since I got my rain barrel, and I still have not installed it. But I have moved it outside in the last year, so I'm getting there. Anything else from anybody? Otherwise, we can talk about future agenda items. Anybody have anything?
I was just wondering, the bus road. Is there any plans for like future development along there? I think the town owns part of it, or Gaston owns the town owns Gaston. Just 'cause I know there's like more and more traffic going
On Bus Road.
and Gaston to the school and back around, right?
Yep.
And it's it's just a town road, so I'm just wondering.
Gaston is split between the town and village, depending on where you're at. It's got weird limits. Bus Road is mostly village, but there's a portion of the right-of-way that's town.
Yeah.
There is a developer's agreement associated with the school that when the time is needed for infrastructure to be installed for that area to be urbanized, but it is not currently
To the north on bus,
on
Yeah.
bus, just along the school property. Yep, just north of BB.
right? Because there's no development currently moving northwest still, right, to that intersection?
Not at this
Right.
time.
Right,
No.
okay.
Any other future agenda items? Otherwise, we can move to item 9.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion is second to adjourn, non-debatable. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.